The Unrevealed Shadow, Book 2, The Return of Darkness, Chapter 1, The Gathering Storm. Brother Thorn spent most of his days wandering the land, helping those in need with various tasks such as breaking curses, banishing monsters, and aiding confused souls in breaking free of their pain, as well as fighting dark creatures that pierce the veil into our realm. He had begun noticing that more and more dark spirits were coming through lately, and that people were once again beginning to show signs of immorality and dark appetites. Things started getting bad again. It was becoming apparent that Brother Thorn needed answers. He thought to himself, what should I do? What should I do? He remembered Evelyn and the power she once held. He wondered, could she offer some kind of insight on the situation that was happening now? Would he dare to try to contact her on the other side? He pondered this idea for many weeks, watching and waiting for a sign that this would be the correct course of action. When finally the last straw fell, a small boy, no more than 8 years old, was possessed right before his very eyes. This poor child suffered greatly. Brother Thorn fought valiantly, and with all the power he could muster, he managed to free the boy's soul. But sadly, he perished anyway. This was the final catalyst that Brother Thorn needed. It was time to gather all the necessary items to do the incantation, to bring Evelyn back, to speak with the one soul that might be able to understand what was going on. He feared and dreaded this, but it was now impossibly unavoidable. Chapter 2, The Ritual of Shadows. As Brother Thorn gathered the necessities and the items he needed for the incantation, the air crackled with an eerie energy, as if the very fabric of reality was protesting against his decision. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long shadows that seemed to whisper of ancient secrets and forgotten truths. With each step, Brother Thorn felt the weight of responsibility pressing down upon him like a burden too heavy to bear. The memory of Evelyn, her crimson eyes ablaze with hunger and longing, haunted his thoughts. He wondered what price he would pay for disturbing the peace of the afterlife, for beckoning forth a soul from beyond the veil. The ingredients for the incantation lay before him: a vial of moonlight, a lock of hair from a virgin's head, a sprig of mistletoe plucked from under the light of the blood moon. Each item held its own significance, its own power, its own risk. As Brother Thorn prepared the ritual, he could feel the eyes of unseen watchers upon him, their presence a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. But he pressed on, his determination outweighing his fear. With a steady hand and a whispered invocation, Brother Thorn ignited the arcane symbols. They were etched into the ground, channeling his will into the spell. The air shimmered with anticipation, and a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. And then, in a rush of wind and whispers, Evelyn appeared before him, her form ethereal and otherworldly. Her eyes, once filled with hunger, now held a glimmer of recognition, a spark of the girl she once was. Brother Thorn's heart clenched with the emotions as he gazed upon her, knowing that her meeting would determine the fate of the land. Evelyn, he said, his voice trembling with urgency, we need your help. The darkness has returned, and we are in desperate need of guidance. Evelyn regarded him with a mixture of sorrow and understanding, her gaze piercing through the veil that separated them. Brother Thorn, she replied, her voice a whisper, carried on the wind. I've seen the shadows stir, felt the echoes of despair reverberate through the realms. But to intervene would be to disrupt the delicate balance of existence. Brother Thorn's heart sank at her words, knowing that their task was not as simple as he had hoped. But he refused to give up, refused to let darkness swallow the land once more. We cannot stand idly by while evil spreads its tendrils, he declared, his voice echoing with determination. There must be a way to vanquish the darkness without sacrificing the balance. Evelyn's eyes softened, a glimmer of hope shining with their depths. Perhaps, she murmured, her voice tinged with the uncertainty. But the path ahead is fraught with peril, and the choices we make will shape the fate of all who dwell within these realms. Together, Brother Thorn and Evelyn embarked on a journey to uncover the ancient secrets hidden within the land. seeking a solution to the growing darkness that threatened to engulf them. With each step, they faced trials and tribulations, their bond growing stronger as they delved deeper and deeper into the heart of shadows. And as they stood on the precipice of destiny, their resolve unyielding and their spirits intertwined, they knew that only by facing the darkness ahead would they hope to bring light back to the land once more. Chapter 3. The Looming Shadow. It wasn't the Umbrals this time. They were not feeding again. It was something bigger, something darker. It was the evil, the shadow that once lurked, growing and shifting just beneath reality. It was a seeping, a pouring, a dredging on the land, and the air like a plague, a darkness encompassing all it touched. Evelyn and Brother Thorn traveled far across the land in search of information to stop the ongoing evil which was growing worse by the day. They followed many paths, all which led to encounters with dark entities, edging ever and ever closer to the answer to their undying question. They could sense that the creatures they were banishing were becoming stronger and harder to eliminate. It was becoming apparent that they might soon face this dark force that loomed over the world at some point soon. As Evelyn and Brother Thorn journeyed across the land, they encountered twisted forests where the trees seemed to writhe in agony, their branches clawing at the sky like desperate fingers seeking to escape from an unseen torment. They traversed desolate plains, where the very earth seemed to groan under the weight of ancient sorrow, the air thick with a palpable sense of dread. With each encounter, they faced creatures of darkness that twisted and contorted, their forms shifting and morphing into grotesque shapes that defied comprehension. These were not mere manifestations of fear or despair. They were harbingers of an insidious evil that threatened to consume everything in its path. But Evelyn and Brother Thorn pressed on, their resolve unwavering in the face of adversity. They sought out ancient tomes and whispered legends, piercing together fragments of knowledge in their quest to understand the nature of the darkness that loomed over the land. As they delved deeper and deeper into their research, they uncovered tales of primordial forces, an entity older than time itself, whose name was whispered only in hushed tones by those who dared to speak of it. It was said to be the source of all darkness, the embodiment of chaos and destruction. The closer they came to uncovering the truth, the more perilous their journey became. They faced trials that tested their strength and resolve, battles that pushed them to the very brink of despair. But through it all, they clung to the flicker of hope that burned within their hearts, knowing that they carried with them the light that could vanquish even the deepest shadows. Chapter 4. The Cave of Shadows. And as they stood on the threshold of their greatest challenge yet, facing the darkness that threatened to consume them whole, they knew that they were not alone. Together they would stand against the tide of evil, united in their determination to protect the world from the encroaching darkness. There it stood, finally. Evelyn and Brother Thorn reached the mouth of the monstrous cave, black and jagged as night itself. It was so dark that the lanterns barely lit more than a few feet in front of them. Slowly but bravely they made their way into the cave. Sounds pervaded all around them, and you could hear things moving and slithering in the pitch blackness. Chapter 5. The Descent into Darkness. As Evelyn and Brother Thorn ventured deeper into the cavern, the air grew thick with an oppressive darkness that seemed to suffocate the very light around them. Shadows danced and flickered along the walls, their movements like whispers of forgotten nightmares. Every step they took echoed the cavern, a solemn reminder of their presence in this domain of darkness. The sounds of movement surrounded them, a cacophony of whispers slithering that sent shivers down their spines. Chapter 6. The Heart of the Abyss. They pressed on, their resolve steeling against the encroaching fear that threatened to consume them. With each step they felt the weight of darkness bearing down upon them, a tangible presence that seemed to pulse with malevolent intent. And then, in the heart of the cavern, they saw it, a faint glimmer of light, barely visible against the inky blackness. It beckoned to them like a beacon of hope in the midst of despair, guiding them forward with an otherworldly allure. As they drew closer, the light grew brighter, revealing the cavern's secrets in stark relief. Ancient ruins adorned the walls, their intricate designs pulsating with an ethereal energy that seemed to hum with power. And at the center of it all stood a towering figure, a being of darkness and shadow, its form shifting and twisting like liquid night. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, fixing Evelyn and Brother Thorn with a gaze that pierced through their very souls. Chapter 7. The Locket's Power. Hope. Hope was what they had left to fight the darkness, a faith and unshakable belief that they could destroy this monster. Brother Thorn had been saving his secret weapon all this time, never uttering a word out loud about it, for fear the creatures would hear and know of his plan. The creature spoke. "You will not stop me. I am eternal. I have always been and always will be. I am the dark heart of the world, and as long as people kill and lie and steal and are greedy, I will always remain. Your fear and suffering feed me, making me stronger and bringing me back every time they manage to cast me away back to the void." Brother Thorn had a plan this time. He told Evelyn to take his hand and focus all her strength on every moment and every memory of love she could muster. Then the brother pulled a small, tiny locket out of his pocket. He clenched it tightly and focused all of their combined energy into the locket. It was a locket containing the last remaining pictures of Brother Thorn's wife and son. He loved them more than life itself, and this was the last remaining vestige of their existence and love. When the creature let out a long, loud laugh, Brother Thorn flung the locket into his gaping maw. Almost in an instant, the darkness began to holler and writhe in agony. Shadows began to split from all around the creature in a blast of light and fiery smoke. Screaming pain echoed across the land for just the briefest of moments, and then, silence. The creature, for all its might and muster, was gone. Gone without a trace, leaving only our two protagonists standing holding hands in the darkness, hoping that once and for all the darkness was destroyed. Chapter 8. Dawn of a New Day. As the darkness dissipated, Evelyn and Brother Thorn stood amidst the aftermath of their victory, their hands still clasped tightly together. The cavern, once shrouded in shadow, now gleamed with a faint light, as if the very earth itself rejoiced at the vanquishing of the ancient evil that had plagued it for eons. Breathless and weary, they looked upon each other with a mixture of relief and disbelief, their hearts filled with a profound sense of gratitude for the love and strength that had carried them through the darkest of trials. Brother Thorn's secret weapon, the locket containing the memories of his wife and son, lay discarded on the cavern floor, its surface glowing faintly with the remnants of their combined energy. It was a testament to the power of love, and a beacon of hope in the world, shrouded in darkness. As they emerged from the cavern into the light of day, they were greeted by a world transformed. A world where the sun shone brighter, the air smelled sweeter, and the land seemed to pulse with renewed vitality. Word of their victory spread like wildfire, inspiring hope in the hearts of all who heard their tale. Legends would be sung of their bravery, and their names would be whispered in reverence by generations yet to come. But for Evelyn and Brother Thorn, the greatest reward was knowing that they had saved the world from the grip of darkness, that their love and courage had triumphed over despair. And as they walked hand in hand into the dawn of a new day, they knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, as long as they stood together, they would always find the strength to face them. For in the end, it was love that conquered all, and it was love that would guide them on their journey into the unknown. This has been a story written and performed by 2G Styles. Peace and love, my friends. Balance is in all of us.